Some of my favorite players are Kevin Durant, LeBron James. I can kind of relate to what Kevin Durant been through. Talking about moving to house. I can't even really remember the last time I slept on a mattress. I never really had my own bed.
I mean, you can't really describe being homeless. Like, it's depressing, it's heartbreaking, it's like overwhelming.
When I was at night alone, staring up at the wall, just trying to figure out what was going on.
No doubt that James Jones had a rough start to life. Homelessness gripped Jones and his mother, Janet.
We'd wake up before the kids got there so people wouldn't know that we were living in the bottom of the basement.
Everybody told us we weren't supposed to be here. We moved from apartment to apartment by ourselves.
We hear these stories a lot of athletes who make it and they reflect on the struggles they endured as kids, but we're at a point in history where homelessness numbers among kids in the United States are at an all-time high. 1.2 million is the figure the Department of Education has, and a lot of these kids are athletes, more than 100,000 by our extrapolations, which is just a phenomenally high number. You hear these stories, and they're incredibly inspirational once the athletes have made it, and once they're playing in Super Bowls and winning MVP awards, but who are the kids in high school now that are having to combat this?
My teammates, they know me as the good basketball player that had the perfect life, but they never knew what I went home to.
When we was coming up, it was always believed at the dinner table. You sit down at the dinner table and your children will tell you everything. But what if you don't have a dinner table?
So right now, Isaiah Lamb is a senior at Delaney High School outside Baltimore, and as recently as a year ago, he was living at a laundromat and in a car and still going to high school.
You know, he's one of the best athletes in the Baltimore area. And I say that, you know, with no hesitation. You know, he's a Division I bound college basketball player. I mean, he's good. But I think his maturity as a young man allows him to be that leader that we need. I think Isaiah's courage, you know, has come from his upbringing. Some of the things he's been exposed to, some of the things he's seen.
For about 3 years, a parking lot like this was my home. You know, just sitting in the corner in the car, and just sleep there for the night.
Isaiah's so tall, he would be crunched up in the back, and many a nights I would cry looking at him because he was so crunched up in the back.
The laundromat had like a sink and you can wash up a little bit there. Of course you can't take a full shower, but you can just wash underneath your arms and stuff like that. The hardest thing was just when we would drive around in the car, if I would see some of my friends, like we would have to hide from them.
We talked about a lot of things and we hid a lot of things from neighbors and Isaiah's schoolmates and all. I had a good life when I was younger. And I wanted that for my children, but it didn't work out that way.
Well, we were homeless for 8 months. We had gotten evicted from our house, and at that time my dad was in the hospital with a heart problem, so we didn't really have him to help us.
In high school, Bobby Lamone was a big burly lineman in Texas. His family and his father had to switch addresses and had to switch schools. You know, he says, look, colleges were trying to contact me, but I didn't have a fixed address.
I finally started getting calls on my phones, and they were like, we've been trying to contact you. They just said they didn't know how, and I was like, dang, really? I was like...
Maybe we have this perception of homelessness as sleeping on park benches and under bridges. Really, it's broader than that. It might be a shelter. It might be basically couch surfing, going home to home. Of the kids we spoke to, I was impressed by how they all knew what the reality was. They knew they were homeless. They spoke about it flatly with no shame, and yet this is clearly a huge motivation. I do not want to keep living like this. I want a better life.
My mother was always on me about getting good grades and going to college. Do what you love in order to get your mind off of what's going on.
Watch basketball, I'll probably be in the street somewhere hanging with some knuckleheads doing something bad.
Some players that are going to go to college with or without basketball maybe sometimes aren't quite as focused as the ones that know basketball becomes an opportunity.
Things just happen to different people. It's unexpected, but it happens, and we just need to be prepared for that. Everybody needs to prepare for that.
Of the kids we interviewed, not surprisingly, they're at different stages. Some of them are in college. Some of them are headed off to college. Others, it's less certain. Just going by the statistics, some of them are going to make it, and some of them are going to have a tougher time. One thing we don't know is what the psychic price of having spent some of your teenage years homeless will do later on, but there will be some success stories that come out of this.
My goals right now are to be making A's and B's in the classroom. I have football goals too. They're a separate part, but making sure my class is taken care of.
I would definitely like to get a full academic scholarship.
Right now, he officially has 6 Division I basketball scholarship offers. You know, he's athletic enough to play high-level basketball in college and potentially from there open up some other basketball opportunities. Who knows?
I never knew he had it in him, to be honest. He was such a good basketball player. We're here in our new apartment. I just know that I'm thankful that it's done. My son have a place he can lay his head.
It's a pretty nice apartment. We have like a dishwasher. I have a nice size room for a change.
And he was clean. He brushed his teeth and washed his face.
It's pretty nice.